And welcome back to another episode of Life in Prison. As always, my name is Zach. If you haven't already done it, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, hit that bell notification button so you're first informed when I upload. This here, prison content. I spent 5 years of my life in maximum security prison. Since being released, I went and got my medical degree, and I try to help others that cannot help themselves, along with doing video chats with inmates still locked up in prison, therefore showing you guys what prison is actually like, trying to prevent you from going down the same path. So today what we're going to be talking about is Prison 101. What to do and what not to do if unfortunately you go down the path and end up going to jail/prison. First off, I'm going to start by saying number one thing is do not join a gang or organization. Anything that has a unit, a brotherhood, a group, just don't do it. It's always going to bring you more struggle and strife than if you would have went in there flying solo dolo. I've known plenty of gentlemen, individuals that have went through prison without joining anything, and they've actually gotten out a lot faster than the individuals that go down that path. Do I regret my choices? No, because it made me the person I am today. With that being said, I can now share my experience to those who have yet gone down that path, trying to prevent you from fucking doing it. So that's first off, do not join any gang or organization. Number two, stay to yourself. Do not get in anyone's business. Do not look in people's cells. Do not put your nose where it does not belong. That's another way to get yourself fucked up. I've seen a lot of dudes who interject themselves in people's conversations and business and end up getting beat up and stabbed. It happens on a daily basis, and that's just a go-to thing not to do. Another thing is, don't get in debt. If you want something, either work to get it or buy it yourself. If you don't have money, or if you don't have people sending you money in, then go ahead and find a job because you get paid for working in prison, and then go ahead and buy it. The moment you put yourself in a position where you owe somebody else, now it doesn't matter if that person's your friend. I've seen a lot of people lose friendships over paid debts. You know what I'm saying? And it might be 50 cents, it might be $1. I've seen people lose their life for a stamp. Don't ever get in debt with anybody. Store man, because think about it like this, right? Say if you have money sent into somebody, right? Say you have a loved one on the streets that sends you money on a regular basis. What if something happens, right? You know, every month on the first, you always get a $100 check from the streets, right? What if something happens and the people on the streets can't tell you, hey, it's going to be a month before you get this, a whole nother month, right? Now you're relying on somebody else to pay your debt that you put yourself into. As I said, $100 is a lot of money, especially in prison. You know what I'm saying? As I said, I've seen people lose their lives for a whole lot less. Another thing you don't want to do is you don't want to get in any relationship. And I mean like boy-wise, you know what I'm saying? It's not just the dudes that have life sentences or the guys that are never getting out with 1,000-year sentences. They're not the only ones that are getting themselves mixed in with boys, punks. You gotta think, if you're in a relationship, right? If you think you're in some relationship, another man's gonna hit on your significant other, right? So you gotta think there's thousands of dudes in prison that swing that way. So if you've got a boyfriend that everybody wants, what do you think is going to happen? I've seen a lot of men lose their lives over a punk, over a boy, because they thought that they were a couple. No, they belong to the yard. Don't get involved with any weapons that are in prison. I know a lot of dudes that think that it's cool to end up getting a knife in prison or something that can hurt somebody. Stay away from that. As I said, if you keep yourself away from the drama, then you won't need a weapon to protect yourself because there will be no fight for you need to fight, right? I know a lot of guys who got in a lot of trouble just for having knives and they never used them. Never used them. Been down 10, 15 years, always had a knife, always got in trouble for carrying a knife, but they never end up using the knife. Now you do 4 or 5 years in the hole altogether out of a 10, 15-year sentence, all because of a knife that you never used. Keep stuff out your cell. You know what I'm saying? You already know firsthand if they're gonna write you up and you're gonna go the hole for having extra underwear. What do you think they're gonna do when they walk in your cell and they find a big old shank? You know what I'm saying? Two is getting high. You know, another thing is do not get high. That goes along with, racking up bills and debts and stuff. don't get high in jail or prison. Not only that, but cigarettes too. You gotta think, drugs is one of the highest commodities in lockup, right? So if you have drugs that normally go for $30 out here on the streets, they're now going for $150, $200, $300, $400 a piece. Pills, Suboxone, weed, crack, heroin, boot, anything and everything. It's going for way markup price in prison. I've seen a lot of people get in trouble and get stabbed and beat up just because they owed the dope man because they didn't have money. A lot of dudes, what they'll do is the people that are full-blown addicts, and if they don't really have a lot of time, I've seen people hop from prison to prison because, right, these individuals will have money on their books, right? They'll show you a slip. Hey, look, I've got $16,000 on my books. Let me go ahead and get a half ounce of this, right? Shit, it costs $3,000. I'm gonna go ahead and wire that too. I've seen a lot of people send wires and then pull them, retract them, then skip out of prison. They'll go to the administration, say, I fear for my life. Now they have they've done suitcased X amount of pills, X amount of dope, or X amount of weed, or whatever it may be, Suboxone strips. I've seen a dude skip out on 250 Suboxone strips. Dude owed for that much. He retracted his payment that he ended up sending on the streets. Gone. Don't try to mess around with the employees. Staff, it doesn't matter. If there's a chick that's working in a facility, jail or prison, right? Regardless if she's an inmate, regardless if she's a CO or if she works in the kitchen or in the library in education, don't go and try hitting on her because you're gonna end up getting in trouble, and they do not like stuff like that. They will put you in the hole and they will throw away the key and lose it on purpose on you. If you get in trouble for compromising any COs, asking them to bring you anything or asking them personal questions, that stuff will get you in trouble. Can you imagine going up to a CO and asking her, hey, where are you from? Now you're doing 6 months in the hole. It happens. Never let your guard down, as in don't trust anybody. And it's sad to say that, but it's true. Don't get me wrong, there's a lot of individuals that I did time with that literally put their life on the line for me. But I can safely say is you still can't trust anybody because you really don't know somebody, right? People can be, I've known lots of dudes that on the streets, right? They shoot guns, they've got bodies, right? I know individuals that have bodies, multiple bodies, have never got in trouble for it, right? But the moment they get locked up and go to prison, they're not that badass dude with the gun they was before. Dudes that are shooters on the streets get punked out in prison on a daily basis. Don't pretend to be someone that you're not. Don't put yourself around others where you can be vulnerable because people will take advantage of that. The moment they sniff out that you are weak or something, if they can get over on you, that's the first thing they're gonna do. The people behind those doors, just like you, they have nothing for you. They have nothing to give to you at all. The only thing they want to see is you beside them because misery loves company. No one wants to do time by themselves, so they'll prevent others from getting out just so that they have someone else to talk to. This was just a short video on Prison 101, short list on things to do and not to do, unfortunately, if you ever get locked up. This video is sponsored by StoneCollective.com. My buddy Caleb over at Stone Collective Supply Company has been booming with the drops. The Halloween merch, that shit is fire. Go ahead and check him out. See what he's working with, Stone Collective Supply Company over on Instagram, along with StoneCollectiveSupplyCompany.com. The new merch is out there. Go ahead and peep game. Shit's fire. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Hit that bell notification button so you'll be first informed when I upload. I send my utmost love, loyalty, respect. Keep y'all heads up. Stay positive. Don't let that negativity bring you down, guys. Prison 101, things to do and things not to do. I'm out.